They thought betraying you would break you, that walking away would make you crumble. They smiled when they turned their backs, thinking they had made the final move. But what they didn't realize was that the moment they lost access to you, they also lost your protection. Their mask slipped, their illusion shattered, and life in its silent cruelty started keeping score. You didn't scream, you didn't chase, you simply disappeared and rebuilt everything they thought they destroyed. Now you've become the person they swore you couldn't be. Unshakable, untouchable, far beyond their reach. So today, let's walk through what really happens when someone betrays a good person, and how life teaches them a lesson far worse than revenge. Through the lens of Stoic wisdom, emotional intelligence, and quiet power, this isn't just about betrayal. This is about transformation. Welcome to Think Stoic 101. Let's begin. People who betray you rarely look back. They walk away assuming they've won, assuming you're left behind, shattered and ashamed. But what they don't see is the storm they've started in silence. Not the kind of storm they expect, not rage, not chaos, but the quiet kind. The kind that builds inside you slowly, steadily, until it turns into power. You see, betrayal doesn't just hurt. It rewires something in you. The first cut always comes from those you let the closest. The deepest wounds never come from strangers. They come from those who once held your trust like it was sacred and dropped it like it meant nothing. That's what makes betrayal so soul-crushing. It's not just what they did. It's what they made you question. Love, loyalty, your worth, even your own judgment. You sit in the quiet thinking, how did I not see it coming? Was I that blind? Did I deserve this? But the truth is, you weren't naive, you were genuine. You didn't fail, they did. They failed to honor the space you gave them. They failed to rise to the level of your loyalty. The Stoic lesson, pain is the first teacher. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In other words, betrayal doesn't define you. How you process it does. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. Deeper, wiser, quieter, sharper. That's what the Stoics did. They didn't seek revenge. They didn't need closure. They used the pain to carve a new version of themselves. One that couldn't be touched the same way again. A familiar story. Maybe yours too. You gave everything to someone, your time, your honesty, your energy. And one day they vanished. Or worse, they turned on you. They told others a story where you were the villain. Suddenly, people you thought were friends disappeared. No explanation. No chance to speak your side. Just silence. Cold, calculated silence. You stared at your phone, waiting for someone to ask what happened. No one did. So you sat in the ashes, not just of the relationship, but of the illusion. The illusion that love always protects. The illusion that loyalty is mutual. The illusion that good people don't get hurt. But what they didn't expect was this. They thought you'd de-beg. They thought you'd chase. They thought you'd lose sleep, drown in sadness, spiral into weakness. What they didn't expect was that you'd de-rise. In silence, they didn't expect you to go ghost, not out of bitterness but clarity. Not out of anger but self-respect. They didn't expect you to use the pain as fuel, the silence as strength. And they sure as hell didn't expect that you'd come back. Not to them, but to yourself. Your power was never in the reaction. In Stoic philosophy, the highest virtue isn't strength. It's self-mastery. When someone betrays you, the greatest power isn't retaliation. It's restraint. You didn't lash out. You didn't post angry rants. You didn't try to expose them. You sat with your pain. You let it burn. And then you let it transform you. That's the kind of pain they never see. The one that turns into presence. The one that turns into purpose. And here's the twist. That pain was necessary. Yes, you heard that right. If they hadn't betrayed you, you might still be bending backward, still explaining yourself, still shrinking to make them feel big, still pouring into someone who was silently draining you. Their betrayal was a blade, but it cut the cord that was choking your growth. So don't regret the pain. Don't wish it away. Honor it, because that pain was the beginning of your rebirth. Let's get one thing clear from the start. Their betrayal wasn't your fault. It wasn't because you were too much. It wasn't because you weren't enough. It was because they couldn't handle the light you brought into the room. People don't always betray you because you failed them. They betray you because you stopped being easy to control. The psychology behind betrayal. Betrayal doesn't always come hate. It often comes from fear. Fear of your growth. Fear of your standards. Fear of your stability. The truth is, some people are addicted to chaos. They thrive in drama, manipulation, and codependency. And when they realize you're starting to think for yourself, speak for yourself, set boundaries, they panic. You become unfamiliar. You become a mirror that reflects all the parts of themselves they're not ready to confront. And instead of facing that discomfort, they run, they sabotage, they betray. It wasn't about your identity. It was about their insecurity. Remember this: someone else's disloyalty is a reflection of their character, not a referendum on your worth. Let's say you were kind, generous, supportive. You showed up, stayed loyal, gave second chances, but they still walked away, or worse, stabbed you in the back. It's easy to internalize that, to think, maybe I'm the problem, maybe I care too much. But you're not the problem. You just have a heart that some people weren't ready for.